Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to Today in Bitcoin. Today is October the 15th, 2017. Buy and hold, strong hand. Hey, so this is a very special show today. I'm outside. I wanted to do it from the roof where there's a better view, but I wasn't getting the DSL was it wasn't strong up there, the internet. So I'm doing it out here. These dogs might be barking the entire time. I have no idea. And usually we do an early show, well, this is a special early show, but usually we do the one Bitcoin show where there's only one topic, and that's at 8:45 a.m. Eastern time. I don't know if we're going to have that today. It might be very late today because the schedule is very messed up. But I did want to cover some things that are in the news or newsworthy. So here we go. In crypto dividend news here, I've been checking out this Ethereum Vega thing. Many of you know that Ethereum is about to have a hard fork. And they've been having some issues. Some people want to delay the hard fork. Some people want to just do it in 2 days like they're supposed to do it. I'm no expert on those matters, but I do know that the Ethereum Vega people, and I linked to them below, they started updating their site now, and they're giving out information, so check them out. They are going to be a hard fork of Ethereum, keeping it the way it was, supposedly. I don't know much about it. It is a crypto dividend. If they actually go through this Ethereum Vega thing, if you have Ethereum, you're going to end up with Ethereum Vega. So let's talk about the tendency of people out in the world of the internet, the alternative finance world. Should I even take I don't even need the sunglasses now. Talk about, they seem to enjoy that there's going to be some massive economic downfall, that it's inevitable. And the reason I bring this up is because I was listening to the Greg Hunter show the other day, and he says, here's a list of all these major banks that are going to go down. The IMF says that they might go down, or some government institution says all these banks might go down all over Europe or the US or wherever. And I say, well, so what? So what if that happens? I mean, they're going to get bailed out. So you, as a taxpayer, you're going to get paid. The world isn't. So what you're saying, all these people are like, yes, the banks will all fall down and we're going to have a great economic collapse. And then all my doom preparation will be ready. I can eat my canned food. But no, that isn't going to happen. There isn't going to be an economic collapse because 80% of the people out there, they don't know, at least 80% of the people, they don't know what's going on. They don't care. They will gladly be taxed as long as they can still send their kids to nice public schools or whatever, or what they think are nice public schools. So the banks will be bailed out. If the banks fall apart, who cares? They'll get bailed out. You're going to pay for it. And so you can sit there and make complaints and say, the Shemitah is coming. Oh, wait, that was supposed to happen a year ago. And it didn't happen, did it? And what did you do during that year? Did you just worry about this mythical thing happening and do nothing? Or are you going to just you can talk the talk, but are you going to walk the walk about economic preparation? You can make up all these fantasy stories, or you can just get into Bitcoin, because Bitcoin beats the inflation. No matter what happens inflationary, no matter what bad event happens, opt out of the inflationary system, okay? Opt out of the banking system. Complaining about it, making up funny little stories about it, keeps you in that system. You're going to have to deal with the inflation. You're going to have to deal with the banks collapsing. So one of those banks might collapse, and then you're going to lose your money, and then eventually get it back through the bailout process, of course, but you're going to pay for that too. So why even play in these systems? Get into Bitcoin. So Greg Hunter is a person who just, he churns up the FUD. He gives reasons to worry, but he doesn't tell you, well, what should you do? Let's play out the scenario. What happens if you play out the supposed economic collapse scenario? The economy doesn't collapse. Everything gets bailed out again because people are happy to get taxed out of their you-know-whats to pay for all this stuff. They don't complain as long as they have their iPads and all their fattening food and all that great stuff. Great stuff. Okay, so yeah, talk is cheap, people. Do it. Pound that like button, people. All right, so a lot of people have said, well, you know, with these crypto dividends or friendly forks, and it's going to water down the Bitcoin brand. And my Bitcoin, so there'll be really 42 million Bitcoin, not 21 million Bitcoin with all these pretender Bitcoins. Well, let me ask you something. We have the US dollar, all right? It's a dollar. It's got, you know, there's X amount of them out there. Now, if we print more US dollars, then yes, it's inflationary. I hope I've been saying it. I hope I haven't been confusing. Again, avoiding inflation is the biggest, is a legitimate worry for anyone. Inflation happens. Tremendous economic collapse of the United States does not happen because it gets bailed out with inflation. I hope I've been saying the word inflation, not making a mistake. Anyway, so if the United States did print a lot of money, that would be inflationary. Okay, if they printed a lot of dollars. But if the United States had their dollars, which a lot of people believe in, a lot of people believe in the United States because the United States is a powerful country. There's a lot it stands for. There's a lot of real economic activity in it. So they think the dollar is good. Okay. But then let's say you have Zimbabwe and they decide, again, they're going to print their own dollars. So they print 1 trillion, zillion Zimbabwe dollars. And they even use some of the same serial numbers that the United States uses with their dollars, okay? So you've got these Zimbabwe dollars, and then you've got these US dollars. Now, is my US dollar affected at all by what the heck they print up in Zimbabwe? Are people confused? Do people suddenly don't believe in what the United States, that the United States is an economic powerhouse? Do they question the United States because something with the same name happened in Zimbabwe? No, of course not. Of course not. All right? A name is a name. Reality is reality. These crypto dividends, if someone prints up a Bitcoin bronze and they make 1 trillion of them, then people aren't going to be interested in it. They're not going to care. They'll sell them all for $1 or whatever, dump them, okay? Bitcoin will still be Bitcoin. It shows that Bitcoin is this, if someone wants to use the name Bitcoin, if someone wants to copy Bitcoin, it's just mad respect to Bitcoin. It shows that it is the root. All right. The market, and again, the markets decide the value here, okay? The markets decide if a crypto dividend is legit. And the markets decide, well, wait a second, this is a real threat to Bitcoin. It isn't a threat to Bitcoin. All right. Now, I'm wondering about these ICOs. Are ICOs doomed now that we have this new method of creating coins, this friendly fork method? Like, why would you, if all of a sudden on Ethereum, they form all these ICO tokens and they're like, okay, I'm selling my ICO tokens for my company. It's going to cost you money. Buy into my company. Well, why should you do that when you can just, another company decides, if you believe in my company, I'm issuing you these free tokens through Ethereum. Everyone's got Ethereum. You're going to get my token now. You're going to get my crypto dividend. So you decide for yourself. You're getting it for free. Do you find value in my company? Why would you buy one of these things now? Seriously, why would you get into an ICO now when you can just get, eventually there'll be free COs or whatever you want, C3POs, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. You see where I'm coming from on this? It's changed. Things are evolving here. Things are evolving here with the friendly fork, with the crypto dividend, all that, the way we think of things. So ICOs, I was never bullish on them. I always say never touch them. But hey, man, if you're going to get free stuff, that's the way to go. If there's value, there's value, okay? If there's value, let the market determine it. People get it for free, then people want more of this stuff, then they'll pay for it. Okay. So another thing here, if governments start to crack down, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, on the Ripple style altcoins, you know, the ones that are just totally pre-mined. They say, okay, we're making $1 billion of this. Now we're going to sell them. You know, it's a centralized type of thing. If the government says, you know, that's really a security now, we're cracking that, you can't, we're going to arrest some people who created coins like this. And it might not be the United States government, it might be some other major government. This is very bullish for Bitcoin and root coins like Ethereum, possibly Litecoin, where crypto dividends will be formed from, where friendly forks will be formed from. Because people are going to say, wait a second, if I'm going to create an altcoin here, I'm just going to do it through this method now. It seems like it's a friendlier, it's a more government approved. The government is going to crack down something that you give away for free through something that already exists. There's more of a likelihood that if you just say, hey, I am making 1 million of these, I'm going to sell them, that you're going to get into some trouble there. So again, if something like that, if a scenario like that plays out, and because we hear a lot of people complain about these centralized coins and how they're not really cryptocurrency, all right, then here you go. If you want to create your own altcoin, and you're not going to worry about some crackdown on it eventually, be really decentralized about it and just form it as a friendly fork, as a crypto dividend. And everyone's happy because people get you. It's such a great distribution method. All right, so a lot of people have started asking me about interest, and I don't remember this, but I'm pretty sure, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Andy Hoffman, check out his blog, by the way. Andy Hoffman kind of alluded to something like this. Back in like 1980, if you were an old lady with $100,000, you would keep it in a savings account, okay? And you would get like 20% on that money. I mean, that's incredible. And of course there was major inflation going on at the time too, but at least you weren't falling behind. You'd get $20,000 a year. If you had $100,000 in the bank, you were getting 20% interest. Then you get your mortgage. What would your mortgage cost you? The mortgages were what, 25% then or something? I might have the numbers a little off. I don't know. I don't know 1980. It wasn't. Anyway, so, and what was the average salary back then? So savers back then were loving the life. If you had some money, the banks loved you. They needed the money because their mortgages were 25%. Anyway, so like imagine in 2016 here. So let's fast forward to the future. And you were watching this Adam Meister show, and I was telling you, guys, Bitcoin is $400. You got to get 10 of them. You got to get 10 of them. There's like videos about that out there. So let's say instead of getting 10 of them, you got 40 of them. You spent $16,000. And you got 40 Bitcoin. Well, now, whoa, it's 2017 and you're 40 Bitcoin. They're worth a lot more. But now we're living in a time of crypto dividends where this year alone, and if you probably average it over to 2018 also, because I'm B Golden 2X producing some stuff for you, but we're talking about you've got 40 Bitcoin. You're going to make 10% on that. You're going to end up with 4 extra Bitcoin at least because of this new phenomenon. And that's freaking amazing. That's $24,000 worth of Bitcoin. Again, if you get your crypto dividends, you get 10% off of them, and then you sell them for Bitcoin, you're getting $24,000 worth of Bitcoin if you had 40 Bitcoin already, if you already had thought long-term back in 2016, okay? This is all about long-term thinking. It's not some crazy line by Adam Meister. If you had long-term thinking back then, and again, you couldn't have predicted crypto dividends, but you could have said, well, I got to get a lot of this stuff. So in 2020, when the halving comes along, I'll double my money or whatever. But now, look what would have happened if you would have listened. So we're talking about $24,000 worth of Bitcoin extra from doing nothing. The average an Amazon worker gets paid $12.50 an hour. That's $26,000 a year. All right. So if you started thinking Bitcoin back then, planning ahead, you'd be making more off of your crypto dividend. It's about the same amount off your crypto dividends in terms of dollars as an Amazon worker gets paid a year. And everybody wants these great Amazon jobs. All these cities are trying to compete for them. And let's remember the rule of 72 here. And again, So now people are saying Bitcoin's too expensive. That's all people ever say. It's still there. We are still living with halvings here, people. Okay, we're still living with crypto dividends. You're still going to get. I'm not going to say you're going to make 10% every year. Maybe you are going to make 10% every year. Let's say you do make 10% every year. Okay, so you're a 23-year-old right now. You got your stash of Bitcoin. Get your freaking stash of Bitcoin because you want to do well at the 2020 halving. You want to do well to 2024 halving too. So let's say that it does play out, that you do make 10% a year off of your crypto dividends. You keep reinvesting it, all right? 10%, you divide 72 by 10, that's 7.2 years, you're going to double your original Bitcoin stash. And I don't care if it was 4 or if it was 2. This crypto dividend thing keeps on happening, averaging 10% a year. Again, this year might be more than 10%. Okay? So that means by the year 2024, which is 7.2 years away, basically, you're going to double your Bitcoin stash. So you're going to go from a 23-year-old to a 24-year-old, and your Bitcoin stash is going to double. Who knows in terms of dollars what that's going to be? You're going to be, if you're going to be a 30-year-old man by then, your whole life will have changed. You might be freaking retired because of what I just told you, because of trying to plan ahead like that and thinking about what crypto dividends mean, what the freaking 2020 halving and 2024 halving. Because even if the crypto dividend thing, if it goes, you know, if it is just a trend and you aren't going to get 10% a year off of it or whatever, you still have the 2020 halving, you still have the 2024 halving, you still got to keep that mindset. I don't worry about how much this costs. I'm trying to get as much Bitcoin as possible, because you're thinking like, you think how high you are in the elite terms, okay? Maybe you're not that elite. And someone pointed out to me the other day that maybe 2.1 Bitcoin is great because there's only going to ever be 21 million Bitcoin. Yeah, that is probably true. But think about how many people you will have more Bitcoin than. Like billions of people. You will have more Bitcoin than billions of people. That's another way of looking at this. And thank you to the person who pointed that out to me over Twitter. All right, another thing, another crypto dividend thing, an idea I was thinking of, because I come up with these creative ideas and stuff. Something, a pump coin, I call it. All right, there is an individual or a very wealthy institution that has a lot of Litecoin, for example, and they want their Litecoin to go up in value. So they make an announcement like, hey, if Litecoin hits $80, we're issuing a special Litecoin celebration coin, which will be good for X, Y, and Z. It's a crypto dividend. We're gonna do a fork of Litecoin hitting $80. Well then, and because we want it to hit it, they're straight up with what they want. So then people are like, wait a second, I gotta buy Litecoin here because I'm gonna get this new free thing that these wealthy people are producing. This wealthy institution. This is how people can attempt manipulation, and you can cry and scream about it, but you can also just be like, wait a second, I got to get in on this type of thing. So it can be done with Bitcoin too. So I predict that, and in this scenario might be a very rough scenario too, because I know there's a lot involved with creating your own fork and everything. But think about that basic premise that people are eventually going to create these friendly forks for their own benefit because they are large holders of something. So this is something to keep in mind with this crypto dividend phenomenon thing. Anyway, so pound that like button. There are some tweets below. There's a tweet about a guy praising the strategy, the Adam Meister strategy. I thought that was funny. There's a Julian Assange tweet, him just saying, hey, thank you governments for cracking down on us. You know, what was it, 6 years ago? We bought a lot of Bitcoin and now it's worth a lot more. I thought that was pretty funny. A lot of people retweeted that. And there's a funny Toward the Meister tweet out there, like a guy mowing a lawn, but it's like on a treadmill. And it alludes to how this person keeps on getting free coins through Bitcoin, free crypto dividends, free friendly fork coins. Anyway, I hope you like the view. It's better from the roof. We're not going to be able to do that though. And this is, and I'll be here for the next couple days and then on the Israel. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video. Do check out the notes section below. The one Bitcoin show, if we have it today, is going to be late. So sorry about that, but enjoy. Talk to you guys later. Bye.